morning and welcome to the show. My name is Sean Smith.
And my name is Prescott Phillips, and this is Brew City Bug Talk.
Hello and welcome back to the show. How's it going today, Prescott?
It's going good today. We're going to have a good show.
Yeah, awesome.
Positive energy.
So, I know we've been away for a little while.
Yeah, took a little break. We had a lot going on. A lot of things, just a lot going on.
Yeah, we were trying to put together some ideas to make this show better for the next year, which hopefully with what we've been talking about here will actually turn out really, really good for you guys out there listening to this.
Yeah, and I've been out of town a couple times. So.
Yeah, we'll get into the stuff that we have going on next year. But first, let's bring. What have we been doing the past couple weeks?
Yeah,
couple months?
The last couple of weeks. So,
yeah. You had SEMA.
Yeah, I went to Vegas.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
For SEMA. I go to SEMA every couple of years. You don't have to go every year. It gets a little monotonous and expensive. But yeah, I like doing SEMA. I like going, meeting up with a bunch of friends, seeing a bunch of cool Volkswagen stuff. Just a lot of cool car stuff.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of people that we talked to on this show that were out there this year that you got to rub elbows with in person.
Yeah, everybody goes out to that, and it's pretty cool.
The Seward Speed Shop boys were out there. Tanner and Adam
and Tanner had their engine, the winning engine on display there.
Yeah, MP had their engines on display, right?
Right. Well, MP owns the engine now.
Yeah.
So
it was an MP sponsored event, correct?
Yeah. The engine challenge was MP sponsored. So they bought the winning engine for $15,000 and then displayed it at they had a lot of cool cars on display. They had really cool dune buggy.
Was this at the MP or just throughout the show?
At the MP.
Okay.
The MP booth. Yeah. They had a lot of cool stuff. Cool single cab bus. They had a MP inch pincher replica car from Europe somewhere that was on display. A lot of cool stuff. A lot of cool things to talk to.
From the videos I saw, they had it was kind of neat because Tanner and Adam, they like set them up like celebrities. They were signing autographs.
Yeah, they signed magazines. Dan Ledbetter from one of our sponsors,
VW Trends magazine.
Yeah, he brought out a stack of magazines for those guys to sign.
Yeah, because they had a centerfold in the latest issue of VW Trends magazine was all about the MP battle, and then actually showcased Tanner and Adam, which was kind of neat.
Yep. So that was cool. Hung out with Dan for a couple days. Tanner and Adam. We went to the racetrack because SEMA is sandwiched between two events at the drag strip. The national event, the 4-wide race, is the weekend before, and then the divisional race is the weekend after. So I usually stay. I get there early, and we go to the national, tail end of the national event, and then we stay longer and go to the divisional. And it's pretty cool, because Tanner actually snuck the nacho bus into the racetrack and was in the pits for the national event at Vegas, and that actually got postponed into Monday. So we went there Monday and watched the tail end of the finals and all that. Yeah, we had a good time. It was one thing after the next. So much walking, so many people to talk to. It's a lot of fun. A lot of Volkswagens. Believe it or not, there's a lot of Volkswagens at SEMA because it's close to California and Vegas, and it's just the West Coast. So there's a lot of cars.
Yeah, next year would be awesome to I don't know, maybe we'll see it at the calendar. It'd be cool to get down there and maybe do some taping, some videos and stuff like that.
Yeah, maybe we could get a media pass, and then that gets you in early and all that good stuff.
Because that'd be pretty awesome. We can see all them guys in person, talk with them, work things out. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, it's nonstop networking, shall we say.
And then fast forward a little bit to just recently, you went down to Indiana for PRI.
Yeah, PRI is a performance racing industry show. It's more less. It's all about racing. So it's
not really Volkswagen.
No, it's just about racing in general, and it's kind of like SEMA, but then it isn't, because SEMA is anything automotive related. and all the stuff at PRI is racing related. So
I was supposed to go down there with you, but
yeah,
unfortunately,
you got a media pass.
yeah, unfortunately it didn't work out. I had some issue with that was my weekend with my son, and my babysitter canceled on me, so like last minute I had to cancel.
Yeah, and
But
it was a shame too, because Volkswagen wise, you didn't miss nothing. There was not one Volkswagen vendor or car on display there.
But one of our friends of the show, who we've had on here before, Driven Racing Oil, was
They had a big display. They had
Yep.
a really good display, and they had Farm Truck and Asian there. They had Steve Morris there. They actually have a new Steve Morris crate oil that Steve uses in all his engine builds. So it was a big deal. I hung out with Bill Alexander. He says, just hang out at our booth. I mean, there's a lot of people here. There's a lot of people to talk to. A lot of people I want to introduce you to. And so, yeah, I just hung out there. It was a lot of fun. And then Driven had a dinner on Friday night, which was really nice. Really, everybody from Team Driven was there. Tom Bailey, Steve Morris, a lot of the Dragon Drive winners and all that stuff. But we're at this dinner at Weber Grill. And it was amazing. Just talking to those people. It was a lot of fun. Real low key. It was Friday night, so
yeah, I missed all the good stuff.
Yeah,
we had it scheduled. We were gonna do a Friday. We were gonna do a show at the Driven Racing Oil booth.
Bill Alexander
which
kept saying, "Well, when you want to do a podcast?" I go, "Man, the equipment isn't even."
Yeah, sorry, Bill. I dropped the ball. Well, I didn't drop. I mean, stuff happens.
Stuff happens. No? It just I left late Friday night to come home. It's a 5-hour drive, so I could have stayed Saturday, because it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It's only a 3-day show. So I went Thursday and Friday, but I had a room and everything. I could have stayed.
But
it's not that big a show.
If you would have stayed on Saturday, you would have missed the next big event that we had going on. The VW Collective of Milwaukee had their.
I would have made it, but man, that would have been.
Yeah, you would have been dead tired.
Yeah,
after driving all day.
Yeah, driving all day and not sleeping for like 3 days.
But they had their annual Christmas party. Well, I mean, their first annual Christmas party. They're the new club in Milwaukee. They did a bunch of stuff. We've had them on the show throughout the year.
Yeah. Shout out to those guys. They did a fantastic job on their first Christmas party.
Yeah, it was a blast. They had catered food, or
they had a DJ, everything. It was a legit party.
Yeah, it was a good time. Dressed up and got all fancy, and
it was good.
It was kind of cool. It was kind of fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Very awesome. You got anything else coming up in the next couple of days here, next week, next whatever?
No, we gotta. We're recording this a week before Christmas, so that's coming up. And then after Christmas, the next big thing that's going to happen, it'll be after New Year's. It'll be 2025, and then I'm going down to Florida for Sick Week, because there's a lot of guys racing down there. It's going to be a good time. Chuck's going to haul his car down there. I'm going to back him up. I joined the Sick Ward, which is you get to do everything the racers do except race. So I've signed up for that. And I'm going to follow along with the whole caravan. But I guess there's 13 Volkswagens.
Yeah, they're putting I saw the list they were putting together, and there's lots of Volkswagens down there.
Crazy amount.
But it is Florida, so I mean, you have a lot. I mean, you can drive a Volkswagen year round.
A lot of these guys are just they live there, so it's like not a big. It's a no-brainer to do it. So that's gonna be cool. That's the end of January. It starts the 28th of January, ends on the 2nd of February or 1st of February. So it does the whole usual drag and drive stuff. We're starting in Georgia and going down through Florida, Bradenton, Orlando Speed World, I forget the other track, and then back up to Georgia. So Gainesville, I think, is the other track. And so that's going to be cool. I'm looking forward to that. I love going to Florida in February.
Yeah, who doesn't?
I am so done with winter. I need to go somewhere nice, even for a day or two, just to, because then it seems like it goes very fast after I get back.
Well, yeah, summer's almost here.
Yeah, February, it's like you can almost smell it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like just a couple weeks later, and it's a little nicer, and then winter's over, thank God. So that's coming up in January.
Well, that kind of brings us into talking about next year and the podcast for next year. I mean, we have a lot a lot of things
Yeah,
on our
yeah.
plate, our wish list of things to do for next year.
Right. We have events to attend and report on and all that stuff.
And the main thing here is we are trying to grow our YouTube. So we're gonna start putting out more videos, more. It'll be somewhat of this style. Like right now, we are recording this. You look at the camera, say
Right.
hi, hello. Yeah, we're recording the show on. So we can post this to YouTube specifically.
Right.
We're still going to continue to do the podcast style shows, like all the audio will upload to our podcast channel and go from there. But we're going to focus on pushing a lot more of the actual videos on YouTube.
Right.
A couple of things on my list that I want to do is I want to start doing shop tours. So let me back this up. So recently I currently purchased a 1969 Volkswagen bus. It is a pile.
It's a project.
It's a project, but I never shy away from a project. So my goal for the winter is to get this pile up and running, like in some kind of state that I can drive it. I think I'm gonna end up pulling the motor from the Carmen Ghia and put in there, so I have a little bit more power pushing this bus. I bought it. It came with a transmission title and rusted vehicle. Like it's got no motor in it right now. So
yeah, you might want to rethink that 3-rib in it.
Well, I don't care. I'm not at this point. I'm not rethinking anything. I'm just gonna get it running and driving.
You'll figure out what the top speed is, and you go, oh man, this is terrible.
It's definitely not planned on going fast in it. I want to be able to take it to these events and basically turn it into like a mobile studio. And if that actually comes together, my goal for next year is to get out on the road and visit some of these shops out there. So if you have a shop and you're interested in having us out there, you want us to tour it, make a video of it, have a chat with us, check us out or email us at bcbugtalk@gmail.com, and we'll kind of work out whatever details we can with that.
Yeah, you can promote your shop. I mean, the other, MP does it. A couple other places do it. They visit places, and it's just a couple minute thing. They promote their shop, and we talk about how long they've been in business, how many employees they have, where they're based, what their primary who their primary customer is, that kind of thing.
And we want to focus on like Volkswagen. Like, what are you doing for the Volkswagen community? Like, how are you servicing? Like, if you got a new, that's another thing too. Is I forgot to mention that to you. I want to start doing product reviews.
Sure.
So if I want to start reaching out to some of these companies, and if you have a product that you're kind of bringing to market, it'd be great to get it to us, and then we can kind of do our review on it. I mean, if it sucks, we're gonna say it sucks, but hopefully it doesn't.
Yeah, don't give us a piece of junk, because we're gonna say it's.
Or don't give us a piece of junk and expect us to like prop it up like it's gold. I mean,
right, and don't give us some prototype that's not done yet.
I mean, it's cool. I just want to put together something for the people out there, and also for the shops out there. So if you're building something and you want it to be highlighted, I mean,
yeah, and it's hard to get a new product
to market.
Yeah, it's because there's so much stuff out there, and a lot of people don't have the money to market it. They just make it, and hopefully people buy it.
Yeah, I want to start trying to work with some of these shops and try and offer discounts for our Brew City Bug Talk listeners. These are all just ideas that we're throwing out there for next year. So hopefully we can start bringing them to the table and making this stuff work.
Right.
Another big thing is if you are listening to this, or wherever you are, and you have a shop in your town that specifically caters to Volkswagens, send me an email. I'm going to try and compile a list of shops throughout basically the world, essentially anywhere our listeners are. Send me an email with the address and phone number for the shop, and I'm going to create a list that we'll have posted on our Facebook page of Volkswagen specific shops, because that's one of the number one questions I get asked is, where do I take my Volkswagen to get worked on it?
You should definitely find somebody in Sydney, South Wales.
Yeah, Sydney, South Wales. Shout out to you guys.
You're number 3.
Number 3 listeners for our podcast.
Yes, we have a list of.
Well, hold on. With that being said, let's get into the year. This is kind of our year in review.
Right.
Episode.
We've hit a bunch of milestones, and
we got our stats back from we host our show through Buzzsprout.
Yeah, Buzzsprout is our host.
They sent us a list of all of our stats for the year, and so we were like, let's do a year in review, and we can talk about some of the past episodes, and we can talk about a lot of the stats that they gave us that pertain to this.
Yeah, where they don't say how many podcasts they have. We know how many are in the top 50. I guess so you can double that number. Right?
Well, you know what? it doesn't matter. We're somewhere on that list.
Well, we're in the top 25.
Yeah.
25%.
So
Not
it's kind of cool. Yeah.
25%.
Per what it sounds like is per podcast that host through Buzzsprout, we're in the top 25
of Buzzsprout.
Buzzsprout.
Buzzsprout hosted websites. So I mean,
that's throughout all the, like, that's people that have probably been hosting through Buzzsprout for years, who have been making podcasts for years.
Right.
This
that's
is
all of them.
Our first year, and we've done 27 episodes. So just think about that. Through only 27 episodes, you guys have listened to them, and you made us popular enough to get us in the top 25.
Yeah.
Hey, it's something.
I don't know how is Buzzsprout one of the more popular hosts.
Sure. Yeah, they're the most popular. Yeah, of course.
They must be.
Yeah, we're on it, so they have to be.
Yeah, so they have to be. Sure, they're cheapest.
Hey, cheapest is always the most popular.
Yeah, usually. Yeah. Usually it is.
So why don't you run through the stats and tell us some other cool things that
Yeah, so we're in the top 25% of the, an average. It's the average downloads for 7 days. I mean, they kind of base it off of when an episode comes out, the 7 days after that, how popular you are, and we're in the top 25%. There's 111 other websites that are in the top 25%, so that's pretty amazing. And like Sean was saying, we only have 27 episodes out, so we average 2.25 episodes per month. So and for a while there, we were doing a lot. During the summer, it's the summertime, so it's easy to do something because there's something always going on.
Yeah, like summertime, there was all those I call them mini episodes, because it was just
daily update stuff. They were 20 minutes, half hour long, whatever.
And I kind of want to push some more of that next year with the events that we go to. I'd like to just kind of, if we go to an event, sit down and record a little session.
Yeah, we always meant to do, like, we never did one at Crystal Lake or any of that.
Yeah, we'll try and arrange it more and work it into the schedule better.
Yeah, we went to them.
Yeah,
but we never did an episode.
Yeah, it'd be nice to coordinate with the NIVA and talk to them and say, hey, we're coming down for the show. Can we sit down and set up a booth and sit down with you guys and record an episode?
Yeah, I mean, once we get more, I mean, we'd almost have to.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll get a Easy Up with our banner on it. We'll have a table with our banner on it. We'll sell T-shirts, stickers, all that stuff.
That's another thing I forgot to hit on. I'm currently in the middle of designing a T-shirt, so hopefully by the time this video is posted, I'll have something to show you guys, and hopefully I'll figure out a way to purchase it if you guys are interested in something like that. I'm kind of putting together it's going to be a tour style T-shirt of all the episodes that we put out last year, or this year, I'm saying.
Yeah.
And that'll be on back, and then it'll be our logo on the front, so it'll be kind of neat.
Yeah,
so I'll put together a small batch of it, and if you're interested in purchasing those, you can email us, or I'll figure out a way for you guys to get it, and then we'll go from there.
Right. But we'll also sell them where we go.
Yeah, that'll be a nice
bring
thing.
Them along, just like Dan had a whole back of his car was full of tubs of T-shirts.
We won't go that crazy, but I mean, we'll have some T-shirts available in various sizes.
Right.
So that'll be kind of something cool.
Yeah.
And then what else? I go back to the stats. What else were some of the stats? Let's talk. Let's give a shout out to our.
The craziest one is this South Wales.
Yeah, hold on. Let's give a shout out to all of our. And they gave us a top. What was it, like a top 10 list of our cities?
It's top 5.
Top 5.
So the number 1 is Milwaukee, Wisconsin. That's where we're based out of. That's the namesake of our.
It's our hometown. So.
Yeah, and Brew City. It's Brew City.
Brew City, named after Milwaukee, because Milwaukee, lots of beer.
Yeah, and then the next city is Chicago, which is the next nearest.
Thank you, Chicago. Thank you for all the listeners down there.
City. And the next one is Sydney,
South Wales. I don't know how, but thank you guys. I mean, that's awesome.
I mean, you're beating Portland, Oregon.
No, that's great. That's awesome.
Yeah. So it's wild. I have no idea.
I love that you guys are listening.
Yeah, we must have a solid base there. So.
Yeah, because they're number 3.
They're number 3. They beat out Portland and Phoenix.
Yes. I know I used to live in Phoenix for a little while, so I have some people back in Phoenix. So they've been spreading the word down there. So that's kind of awesome.
And they have a Volkswagen scene. So, I mean, come on, man.
But no, that's awesome. Thank you. What are some of the other ones on the list?
Well, it goes by country now. So, of course, United States is the majority of them. But
how many countries are we in? Which I thought was kind of cool.
They don't really say.
No, it says right there.
34 countries.
We're in 34 different countries.
Yeah. So
Awesome.
I bet you some of them only have 1 or 2.
Hey, that's fine. That means we were
Yeah.
still listened to in that country.
Okay, for episodes, yeah, for basically the life of our podcast. So yeah, 34 countries. Number 2 is the United Kingdom. So
Thank
I
you.
mean, yeah, and then of course, like Sydney must be they're number 3. So Australia is number 3. So I mean, it's pretty cool. And then it goes Canada, Norway, but the majority is, of course, the United States. So.
No, that is very cool. Like I never for the life of me thought that people overseas would want to sit here and listen to us.
Why? I don't know.
Well, I know why. It's because
Norway.
my voice is so handsome, and they can't get enough of it.
We talk about such riveting and exciting.
Hey, we do. I mean, we had Seward Speed Shop on here before anybody else did.
Yes.
We broke that story for them guys after the MP engine build off. Nobody else talked to them. I purposely didn't pursue that for a little while because I thought they had worked out deals with other people, but they didn't.
They did not.
We were the first ones to talk to them, and
we went to the shop. We talked to them,
which I was shocked and surprised. But hey, we did that. That was us.
We did that.
So I mean, it helps knowing people. So that was kind of cool.
And it helps that they're close enough to drive.
Yes.
But
hey, still, it was cool.
They're friends of mine.
Yeah, it's cool. It worked out. I mean, it's awesome. I mean, everybody else who does this had the opportunity to talk to them before us, but nobody took advantage of it.
Yeah, they did. All the magazines, Hoppy W's, VW Trends, they all eventually did a write up on them. But we were the first, of course. So.
Which I thought was amazing because
it was super cool.
Yeah. So I want to kind of throw you under the bus here a little bit. What would be your most memorable episode that we had from last year? I got a list here.
Okay.
I got a list here of all the episodes.
It's a toss-up between when we went to Adam's shop.
Okay.
And Dan was there.
So the VW party is the episode we called it. That would be
the party at Adam's shop, Seward Speed Shop, when Dan Ledbetter showed up on his tour. Everything coincided. And we went down there, and Dan stayed way too long, and we just laughed.
That's episode 21. It was the Volkswagen Volkswagen Party Time with Dan Ledbetter, VW Trends, Adam Tanner, and Seward Speed Shop is the title of the episode.
Yeah, and the next one is that 6 summer day 3, is it? I think that's what we called it, day 3.
So is that your favorite one, or is that just your favorite one because it was so popular?
Well, it was fun. It was fun. We laughed. We were all punch drunk.
Yeah. But wasn't that day 2? I thought that was day 2, and day 3 was the following episode. That was actually more popular.
Whatever. When we were in the Airbnb,
that would be. I think that was day 2 of 6 summer.
That was one of my favorites because we had a dozen people in this Airbnb, and we were just dead tired. We did. We had Chuck's dad playing chicken with semis, and
that day was amazing.
That was insane.
I don't know how somebody, unfortunately, I don't know how anybody didn't crash on that day.
Yeah, it was the last day that we were still a solid group.
Yep.
And then Clinton's car was acting up. He dropped out, and then
the following day.
The following day, we raced in Iowa, and then it went downhill from there.
But yeah, that was a fun adventure that day, and then we wound up at the Airbnb at night, and it was kind of cool. We set up to do the podcast, so we had
I didn't get that Airbnb.
What's that?
I couldn't. I went to reserve it.
Oh, for next year?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw you post that in the message.
Already gone. I'm like,
that's all right. I mean, it was a nice Airbnb, but it was kind of small for the amount of people that we had.
I got a bigger one.
I mean, considering we had Mike Cuddy wrapped up in a rug on the floor. He didn't have a blanket, or he didn't know there were extra blankets.
Yeah, there was drawers full of blankets.
And so he fell asleep on the floor and ended up wrapping himself up in a rug to stay warm.
Yeah, because we had the AC kind of blasted.
But we did have a bunch of people in there, so
yeah. So for next year, I got a great asset. It's expensive. If anybody wants to pitch in,
is that like that vintage house that you sent out?
It sleeps like 11 people.
Does it really? I thought it was only a 2-bedroom.
No, it's 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths.
Okay.
It's very.
I just briefly looked at it.
Iconic looking.
My goal for next year is to hopefully have the bus up and running, and then I will be sleeping in that. I'll just park it in the driveway and camp out in that. I mean, that's the whole. I want to put it to use in that fashion of being able to take it places, camp out in it, so I don't need to pay for hotels. And then
It's not a Westphalia.
I'm gonna put a. I already have the seats.
You're gonna make it a. Put the camper stuff in it.
No,
Bed and all
well, I have I do hiking, so I have my little hiking camping supplies that I can use.
There's a name for that when people put the interior on a Westphalia regular bus.
I don't know, camper style, something like that. I don't care about names. I'm just actually
I'm just saying it's a thing.
I already pulled the seats out and I have them for sale, like the middle bench seat and the rear seat. I already have them for sale on Facebook because I'm just gonna build a bed in back, and then I'll build like a pilot seat behind the driver's seat there and have a little table, so that way I can have somebody sit there. I'll have a little table to do the episodes,
like the Westphalia.
Yeah, and then just utilize it because I don't need much room. I just need a bed and transport.
You should look for that out of a Westphalia. That table thing that changes into a bed.
Yep. I've already been kind of scouring the internet for it. I mean, I can build one also, like there, because
I think Josh has some sense.
Well, the plan is to like redo the interior. Like I'm gonna redo the interior like I did the other bus, where I just kind of did my own thing. I put down like that snap down flooring, and then I got wainscoting and put it up on the walls there instead of using the side paneling. So it kind of looked really nice in there. And then I built a seat, like kind of what I'm planning on doing, and it all worked out good. But this time I plan on just getting rid of the bed or finding a Z bed. If I can find a Z bed, like one on the cheap to put in there, I'll do that. But if not, I'll just build a bed.
Right. It doesn't need to be.
Yeah, I just want to make it purpose built to be able to utilize it to go places and camp out and stuff like that.
Yep.
But yeah, so hopefully next year that'll be my plan for Six Summer, is be able to do that and just roll along with the crew like I did last year.
Yeah, we had a good time. It's pretty exciting. It's pretty cool to drive down drive across states all together in a caravan and people all looking at you and leaving.
Yes,
waving.
Definitely.
You could see them doing the slug bug thing from it's like, did they just slug bug each other?
Yep. All right, so going back to that, I'm going to say my favorite episode, which I think everybody already knows, is the Stewart Speed Shop. When we went down there and we did the interview after the engine build. Like, I mean, I was so giddy for that episode because I was really excited that, for one, that somebody within the Midwest went to the MP engine battle, and then two, they won. So it was really cool. And then, like I said, nobody else had approached them to talk to them, and so we were the first on scene. So I thought that was awesome. Yeah. So we got like the whole inside track, we got the whole specs of the motor, how they built it, what they did, and then we went down there with the idea of just putting out a one episode and just talking with them.
Well, rumor has it they're going to get that motor back.
Oh, that'd be pretty cool.
There's a word on the street.
I talked about it, how cool that would be to be able to.
Because when Adam was in Vegas at the MP booth, he's like, man, I would really like. They really didn't science out how much power that thing could make. They ran out of time, and he's like, well, I'd really like to find out what it'll truly make.
And we talked about that.
And then some people were contacted, and
so are they?
They might all have.
Is it going to be like they own it, or is it going to be like they borrow it to make power?
Not sure.
That'd be interesting. All right. Well, we'll have to do a follow-up episode.
Because we were laughing about building an identical engine, but having empty, and just have stock internals, But on the outside, it looked identical, and we could just do the old swap for root.
They'd never know.
Yeah, they'd never know. But that never happened. But the rumor is that they're going to be able to actually work on that and get their motor back. MP's kind of done with it now.
They promoted it and they've used it for whatever.
They displayed it. They're not going to dissect it.
Did you guys talk to them? Did they open it up at all?
No, they don't want. Okay. They don't even want to.
Oh, I see. I didn't know if that was the whole point of the competition. You
would think, right? You would think they'd want to do some backwards.
Yeah, and I mean, they own the motor, and they build stuff. So why wouldn't they open it up and say, "Hey, okay, this is how it made power. Let's sell these parts."
Right. You'd think so, but no. It was just a PR thing.
Okay. Well, no, that's cool. I mean,
100% PR was nothing to do with R&D, nothing.
Hey, cool. I mean,
so the motor would just, because they go like, well, what's going to happen to this motor? Well, it's just going to sit on a pallet on a shelf, on some pallet racking. I'm like,
yeah. Loan it back to us, sell it back to us. Let us do something with it. Yeah. Because that would be cool to get back there and see how much actual power they could make out of that motor.
They really, they, Adam's got 4 times what they gave him into that motor. If you actually did some hourly, you figured out how many hours you got of shop time you have into the motor. It's a $60,000 motor.
Yeah.
So, but they only got 15 grand for it. So it'd be nice to get it back.
Another memorable episode that we did is we got to go down and talk with Air Fryer Racing, Chuck Fryer.
Yeah, when we spent the day at Chuck's house, that was cool.
That was a good day. We went down there, hung out with him, got to see his house, see his shop, see the car as he was in the process of getting it all ready for Six Summer.
Right.
We got to sit down, we all went out to lunch, and that was a cool town they live in.
Yeah, they live in Marcellus.
Yes, it's a very, like, the downtown Marcellus was awesome.
It's an old school town.
Yeah.
In Illinois, middle of nowhere.
But they're, like, rebuilding it, and they're, like, freshening everything up, so it's got that nice, like, old school charm, but also has, like, a modern look to it, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, they're trying to, back in the day it was some hub for something right off the river, but now it's kind of like, just old and small.
And then we can't go without talking about our Dan Ledbetter episode, which was episode 8. We talked with him. It was kind of cool. I cold called him. Actually, I sent an email out to him and said, hey, we're starting this podcast. Would any of you guys from your magazine be interested in talking with us? And then I got a message back. They're like, well, talk to Dan. He's the editor. And so I emailed Dan and like I ended up like talking to him on Facebook, and he was like, yeah, I'd love to. And then I reached out to Prescott. I was like, hey, I got this guy Dan from VW Trends. He's like, Dan Ledbetter? He's like, yeah, I know him. I'm like, well, he's going to do the show.
Yeah, we have known him since the 80s.
And I didn't know this at the time, so that was kind of a cool connection that we made and recapped. And actually, it worked out great because he took us under his wing right away. He liked what we were doing and liked what we did, and he said, he promoted the show for us, which was awesome because
that really
it's been a continuing, ongoing partnership with them, which has been pretty awesome.
It's been good, and it's been very good for both, us promoting them and them promoting us.
Yeah,
good deal.
Let's see, we had Bill Alexander. We can't go without talking about him. He was episode 10, Driven Racing.
Yeah, Driven Racing Oil is Team Driven. I'm part of Team Driven, which is part of Driven Racing Oil's promotional racer program.
If you're a race car driver and they like you, they bring you under their wing and promote you on as part of Team Driven. Yeah,
you get a deal on oil. You get a bunch of promotional items. You're under sticker, and they're going to work on some sort of contingencies program.
And Driven Racing or Driven, Bill Alexander is actually a Volkswagen guy, so that was kind of cool.
Yep.
And he created just on Facebook, he created a Driven Air Cooled page, which he wants to promote Driven Racing Oil and also air cooled Volkswagens, which was another cool thing.
Yeah, and we give him feedback, send him oil samples from our cars. This has so many miles and so many quarter-mile passes on it. And they can do analysis of it and find out, not only what's going wrong with my engine, but how their oil's holding up. So it's it's good for me because I find out the life of my, the condition of my engine, and then they get to see, well, you got X amount of miles and X amount of quarter-mile passes on it, and is it still good? Is it still the same it was? Is it contaminated? What's the deal? So, works. It's a two-way street, so it's pretty cool.
And then another episode which I like to bring up is VW Drag Night and German Air Drag Day. We had
Scott Sane.
Scott Sane. He came up here to pick up his motor that you built for him.
Yeah, which is still sitting on the flooring, from what I hear.
He hasn't put that in anything.
No. Yeah. Oh. The car. He planned on putting that in. He got impatient and bought another motor and put that in. So. Yeah.
Wow. So he's got that big, beautiful motor just sitting there collecting dust.
Yeah, it's a huge, 4-inch bore motor sitting there on the floor.
Yeah, it just worked out. He came to pick it up. He happened to be up here for a wedding. I guess one of his relatives was getting married here. He does DJing on the side, so he ended up DJing the wedding. And then he drove up here, so he stopped here. We loaded loaded the motor up in the back seat of the truck.
Yeah, in the back of the truck.
And then he drove it back down. But while he was here, we kind of roped him into doing an interview for the podcast, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, and he's a promotion machine.
Yeah, he does 2 events a year, drag races, Drag Night, VW Drag Night, and then German Air Drag Day, which is that coming up, or did that just happen? Okay, I didn't follow that one along.
I didn't see all the results of that.
Oh. Well, sorry, Scott, we kind of dropped the ball on that one, but hey, that would have been a good follow-up episode, but we'll get on that next year because he does them every year, which is cool because he does a ton of promotion for them. And he auctions off cars, which is another raffles off like a drivable Beetle. Like
some of them were, and I missed. I don't know what year it was, but I bought a ticket, and I really wanted that car. It was a '58, had a big motor in it, and I missed it by 1 number.
Wow!
It was like 205 was the winner, and I had like 206. So I'm like, dang it!
That's the absolute worst.
Yeah,
no, thank you.
It's like, oh, so close.
That was like this this weekend at the Christmas party. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that this weekend at the Christmas party, Mr. Big Shot here, Prescott, won the 50-50.
Yeah, which was $800.
$800. Well, it was $800 total, $400 to him, $400 to the club. And what's this dude do? Prescott walks back up there and he said, "Hey, thank you guys for the money. I'm gonna donate it back to the club." So
it was a fundraiser for. They're trying to promote their. They're trying to raise money to make a little Volkswagen museum that the collective will run, and they're collecting money for it. I'm like, well, yeah. I mean, it's money I never had, so I just gave it back.
Yeah, no, that was really cool. Like, I'm like, you could have donated that to me, but I mean, if you're not gonna donate it to me, you gave it to the club, and that was the second best
when I
choice.
bought the tickets. I told myself, I like winning.
Yeah,
I don't care about the prize. I just like to win. You know, it's like it's kind of like drag racing. Drag racing is not a money making.
Oh no, definitely not.
So yeah, people go, well, what's the payout? Well, that seems kind of dumb. You know, you got a $30,000 car to win $150. I'm like, well, that's just the way it is, man. You know, it's not a money making venture. It's more about winning than winning money. So I'm glad I won, and then that was all I wanted to do was win it. I didn't need to keep it, so I just gave it back.
Oh, that was very cool. It was pretty awesome. I
didn't win. You won something.
Yeah, me and Jen were there. Last minute, we bought. They have these raffle baskets there, and it was like $1 ticket, and I had like $2 left. So I was like, all right, I'll take 2 tickets. And she went up there, and there was a puzzle she wanted, and nobody else had put it.
She was the only one.
The only ticket.
Well, that's why you see the empty jar, or whatever they're sticking tickets in bucket. And if there's nothing in it, throw it in. You want it.
And she likes puzzles, so she was like, "Yeah, I'll throw that in there when that." But then she put in for this like Mongolian grill or something like that.
Oh yeah, it was hoo-ha.
Yeah. So she put in there, and I was like, because I wanted that. So she was like, "Yeah, I'll put one in there." So she put in there, and lo and behold, I won it. So it was pretty cool.
Hoo-ha's good.
Yeah, hell yeah. So
I'll go over again.
We're probably going there tomorrow night to get some food. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. All right, so back to the year in review. The next most memorable, obviously, was the VW Collective. Since we're talking about them, the VW Collective picnic part. Picnic was episode 15. Yeah. That was a cool show because we kind of talked about. It was kind of what we want to do more often here, where we just sporadically set everything up and
we show up at somebody's party. We eat their food. We win you won a TV there.
I won big there, yes.
And then we do an episode and we leave.
Yeah. But I mean, it was more than that. We were there. I was there. You left. I was there till nightfall. So I mean, it was a good time.
Yeah.
I would have stayed later, but it started raining, and my lights and wipers didn't work really well on the Porsche I brought. So
yeah. So
that was a great time. I mean, that was a great event. A lot of people there. A lot of they kind of turned into a little mini car show, which was always good. Always a good time.
Yeah, it turned into a mini car show. It was the first time the collective had done. It was their first
picnic. We did one with the other club.
Picnic.
That was kind of successful, and so they did this one as their own club, and it was big. Like the turnout was great. We had people from all over Wisconsin and Chicago or Illinois that came.
Did the other club even have a picnic?
This year, no. They didn't have a picnic for many years until we decided we wanted a picnic.
That's the way it worked. Okay.
The group who all started the new club decided, like we were the ones
doing. They were in the old club.
Yes. Yeah. And everybody who left the new club is basically, or left the old club, started the new club. And so yeah, that's where the picnic came from. It's because we wanted to do stuff.
Right. Yeah, that's the reason for starting the new club. Was the old club was a little.
They were stagnant. They've been around too long. A lot of old timers that didn't want to do anything. But hey, we're moving past that. We don't even focus on that. We're focused on the good. Like the new club they're gonna have a museum.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
And they're a 501c.
Oh yeah, they're an official 501c3. They filed the paperwork. That was something that the old club said they did but didn't do.
Yeah.
So
there's a lot of
speculation on how things are going to, but we're not going to dwell on that because we can make a whole episode about
the funny bookwork.
But yeah, so that was a good time. It turned out great. I won a bunch of stuff, so I'm always happy when I'm winning raffles. Can't complain there. Next on the list of memorable, talked with Corn Panzer time. We had
we had
Conklin,
which I saw at PRI.
How's he doing?
He was at PRI because he goes, "You're here, and I'm in Kira. We'll meet you over at the Driven Racing Oil booth." Talked to him for a little bit. He came with another couple.
And that was a good episode because we got to talk about actual history of the Corn Panzers and how. Because I've always heard stories about how
old school drag racing back in the day when we were young and dumb, and we traveled around the Midwest racing each other. The stories. There's just so many of them, and some of them are off color, so we can't say anything.
Can't put them on air, but it's still cool to like reminisce about them and talk about them.
And I don't want to talk about the people without them, back in it. I don't
being able to defend themselves.
Yeah, defend them. That ain't what happened. No, that's what happened. That kind of thing. But
But that's essentially why we started the podcast, just to record these stories.
So we could reminisce about the good old days.
Good old days, and then move forward and grow this.
Yeah, it's starting to. It's been a renaissance, it seems.
Yeah. No, it's kind of cool. Like there's hardly anybody out there doing what we're doing, so it's kind of cool that we're able to do this.
And I think the Volkswagen scene in the Midwest, anyways, has I think a renaissance in the last couple of years because people are dragging their stuff out. They're getting fired up about it. Every time we take our bugs out, there's more people getting involved.
And see, that's the thing is they are seeing that people are actually doing this. The problem is when you don't know that somebody else is doing this, it's hard to get motivated to do something. You're the only one it's hard to get motivated. Yeah. But
if you go to a car show and there's a bug there and you like bugs,
and on top
of that one guy, and it's like, well, I'm going to go to this show next week. You want to go? And all of a sudden, they're fired up about dragging their stuff
and
out.
They tell two friends, and they tell two friends. And
yeah, and you get the little momentum going.
And see, that's awesome. And then you have clubs like the VW Collective, which are actively doing stuff, which are creating more energy.
They do something all the time.
Yes, they had their custard cruise. We keep going back to them, but we did so much with them this summer that it's kind of hard not to talk about them.
Yeah, because
they go to shows like every weekend. It was funny because when I was sitting down with them, me and Mindy were sitting down planning out the events for this year. Way back in, I think it was February, we had something, we posted them, and all of a sudden everybody's like, well, thanks, you just booked my whole summer out for me, because there were so many that were listed off.
And some of them were like all in one day.
Yeah.
That one day I went to 3 car shows. It was wild.
But good times.
Yeah.
The next thing I want to bring up was Vic. Episode 20, 81 years old, racing Volkswagens, and he's still racing to this day.
Yep.
So I brought this up on the episode that when I met this guy, I met him at the old club. We had the show with the old club, and somebody comes running up to me and they're like, Sean, somebody's having a medical emergency. And I'm like, what? And so I run over there, and there's this old gentleman sitting in the sun, and just like he looks out of it. He looks like he's
having a heat stroke.
Yeah. So like I'm like, sir, I was like, you okay? And he's like, no. I'm like, all right, let's call 911. And I'm like, grab some people. I was like, let's move him into the shade. Got him down there, talked to 911, and then like directed the fire department to come in when they came in, and then they carted him off. And that's the last I heard of him until fast forward like a year later. I'm at a race at Road America, and there's a Volkswagen there, and I walk up, and it's this old guy who's the driver, and I'm like talking to him, and I'm like, you're familiar. I was like, did you almost die at a show? And he's like, yeah. And I'm
was
like,
me.
hey,
Just
I'm
claim
the
the
guy who
fame.
called 911.
Claim the fame is dying.
Yeah. So then after we started this podcast, we reached out to him and said, hey, you're still doing cool stuff with Volkswagen. Would you like to come on the show and do an episode? And lo and behold, after some back and forth and
Yeah, and then he left his hat
yeah, he came in and did the episode, and then he left his hat here. But I think that was just so he could come back and talk to you more about his transmission.
Yeah, probably. Probably. Yeah.
But that was a good episode. I love hearing the stories of the old timers and where they came from, because I mean, without them, none of this would be possible. So it's always great being, especially somebody like him who's that old, who's been doing it that long. It's
right. It's dedication.
Yeah, and that's awesome because there's not too many. It's funny when you go to Road America, he's the only Volkswagen.
He's the
only Volkswagen Beetle out there, and I mean, obviously, there's a reason for it, but it still doesn't matter. He's out there doing it, which is credit to him.
Yeah, I think they changed some of the rules just for him.
Yeah,
just to make it more competitive. He's getting his ass beat every day. We need to help him out.
Yeah. What else we got? Oh, your buddy. Sorry, I wanted to mention that earlier. Episode 9, bringing Volkswagens into the 21st century, 4 injectors at a time.
Yeah.
Mario. Yeah. I brain fart. What's the name of his shop? Dub Shop. Yes, he's doing some cool things with fuel injection.
Yeah, he's got his own products. He does a lot. He's a one-man band. Yeah. It's just him and his wife.
And hopefully next year we can actually get because we're planning on going out to Medford, and it'd be cool to hop down to his shop. I mean, we're on that side of the country, and do like a shop tour, a video shop tour of them, and then post something and kind of get some more details on.
Yeah, I always joke with Mario that I was going to take a working vacation and help him out for a couple of weeks. I still wish I could do that. I can't. But I'd love to. It sound like we'd have a lot of fun, and I'd learn a lot, and he would get some work out of me.
Well, who knows? When we get down there for the shop tour, if you come on that adventure, hopefully we can get in there. And you can.
Well, I'm not going to stay 2-3 weeks.
Hey, you never know. Don't say no until you get down there, and you never know what happens.
Get home.
What, to your cats?
Yeah, I guess somebody's got to feed the cats.
That's true. Well, you got somebody to come in and take care of them for you.
Yeah.
All right, and fast forward all the way to the last episode that we put out, number 22, the long lost Pat Downs episode. This one kind of got screwed up. I ended up the hard drive. I record everything. I record everything on my laptop, and then I save it to a hard drive. Well, somehow the recording had gotten lost, and I couldn't find where I had saved it on the hard drive. So it was just
there.
It was there. I had to go through and find it, and then once I did find it,
go to recent downloads. There it is.
I should. Well, I don't think I can do that on my hard drive, but the episode got deleted off my laptop. So I was trying to clean. I had most of all the episodes.
And it's funny because when we talked to Pat, remember I asked him if he was going to Vegas?
Yeah.
And he said, "Well, I don't."
Yeah,
know.
He wasn't sure. It sounded kind of like sketchy of the whole details about it.
Well, yeah, he couldn't get any payout numbers or who was going or who was entered, and he really was hemming and hawing.
And that recently just happened, right?
Yeah, he won the race. There was only 5 pro stocks there, and he was one of them. 8-mile race, pro stock, East Coast PRA rules, and he ends up winning the race, and good for him, because he was stuck between a rock and a hard place. If he went, then he was like one of the only ones that went. And that wasn't, when you're the only one,
Yeah, when you're the only one there, I mean,
it's kind of hard to lose.
Yeah.
So, but then if he didn't go, then people were thinking, well, he's afraid to go, he's afraid to lose.
I don't think they would have thought that.
Well, it wasn't good for his business. Pat owns his own business now, and if anything, to promote his own business, he goes and he wins the race. He set fast time. I mean, it was all good.
It's a no given to go and win. I mean,
so it's
a win-win.
Yeah, it's a win-win for him. Glad he went. They had a good time. That event kind of got poo-pooed by people.
Did it get posted online or anything like that? Because I didn't.
There was a lot of live footage. I mean, everybody's watching Aaron Coy's live footage, which was a little hard to watch because there was a lot of it wasn't unedited. It was live.
Yeah, well, that's the problem. Like, that would be great. I don't know if anybody is out there that does like promotions and stuff. That would be great to like have somebody who sits down and goes to these tracks and actually broadcast it live in a professional manner, because
it was a professional manner, but it wasn't his fault that there was a lot of dead time.
Yeah, I mean, I guess
downtime. There was tons of it, and to sit there and edit all that out, well,
yeah, that's true.
you just fast forward through it.
Yeah, and if you're doing it live, you can't do anything about it. So
I feel bad for the people that were in the stands.
Yeah,
because nothing empties the stands faster than no cars running.
That's true.
Track.
Yeah,
and then a car runs, and everybody's got to run back to the stands, and then a bunch of cars run, and then there's more dead time, and they all leave again. It's very hard to watch.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But they got lucky on the weather, and the turnout was good. It was their first time doing it, and that race it's going to be weird because there's nowhere for the Californians to race except Vegas. Irwindale's closing, all these tracks. I mean, where else are they going to race besides Vegas?
I'm sure somebody will figure out something. If there's a market for it and there's money in it,
well,
somebody will do it.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, well, this first time wasn't. Well, it's the first time. Of course, it's not going to be great. They got lucky on the weather, all that. Maybe they'll change the weekend a little bit. Get it out of the sketchy part of the winter in Vegas. And because I think it could be snowing, even in Vegas.
Well,
I mean, they've had it. They've had floods. They've had everything. So.
Well, maybe we can convince you to start going to some of these events next year. That'd be
next
cool.
year I'm gonna hit.
How many times did you race your pro stock at all?
Oh, we got rained out in Ohio.
Yeah, so you went to one event and got rained out.
Yeah, we went to one event and got rained out.
Yeah, we got to get you out there more, because I mean that'd be something we could do for the show, is actually go to these host podcasts, and I mean we could turn it into like a working trip.
I talked to Jason Pointer at PRI, and I forget what he said it was, $20,000 to win or something. So I'm like,
is that next year?
Yep.
Okay.
Pro stock race at Enos, Texas. So
did you say Enos, Texas?
Enos
or Anus?
or no. So that's Extreme Motorsports Park, and
sorry guys, I'm 7.
Really thinking about going to that one. That's in September.
Well, so next year you got obviously Ohio again.
Yep, the Ohio and
Medford. You plan on? Are you gonna drag?
Yeah, I'm
the pro stock out there.
Yeah, I'm going to try. I don't know.
That'd be cool. Down to Medford and then Texas.
Yeah, got Texas.
I mean, that's a start. 3. That'd be 3 all around the country. That'd be kind of cool.
Yep. Plus, we're gonna do a bunch of drag and drive stuff.
Yep.
I mean, we're already signed up. We're already getting geared up for 6 summer in June. And then got the SICK Michigan. They didn't release any of the dates yet, but that's in August.
Yeah. So a list of the shows that we have coming up. Well, where's your little list there? Because things that we want to talk about for next year is I know the Michigan, the Michigan Buggy Builders event.
Yeah, they got moved to a different venue,
but
it's still near Lansing.
Yeah, but I'd like to reach out to the event coordinators and try and work up, tell them, hey, we're doing a podcast, and try and get down there and kind of do what I was talking about doing at all these other events. Set up an actual time where we can sit down and do an interview and a podcast from there.
Well, then we should definitely get a easy up and a table.
So we'll work out the details with
T-shirts.
But that's coming up.
You'd sell a ton of T-shirts, because look at all the people we met there.
I know, and it's
that
all
listen to the show.
It's all Volkswagen.
All of them would have bought a T-shirt.
Yeah. Hey, it's in the works.
Yeah.
6 summer, obviously here in Wisconsin. That's what is that? June.
June 16th, I think it starts.
You got SICK Michigan is the other one. Whenever those dates get
That'll
released,
be in August sometime. They didn't release the dates or tracks or anything, but it's supposed to stop at the Woodward Cruise. It's supposed to be the Saturday that it ends, so you can kind of do the math.
And then you got the Ohio race.
Yeah.
And then which is a big one, because that's like one of the biggest ones that's one of the only ones in the Midwest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's been going on for 30 years.
And then the Medford. And all of these events that we're talking about here, hopefully we can get there and we can do these episodes here. Maybe we can start I don't know if we can live stream them or figure out something to
We
make
could
it.
probably do a little live stream or whatever.
Yeah.
We can try.
Yeah, we'll figure something. As this is all fluid, and as we get moving, and as we get this all figured out here, because obviously right now it's just me and you trying to figure this out.
Right.
I do all the editing, so it's like
Yeah.
trying to figure out video, trying to figure out audio. We'll put something together that hopefully you guys will enjoy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And next year's gonna be bigger, better.
Yeah. Well, and so hopefully everything
Bigger
works
and
out.
better.
Yeah.
Worser.
All right. Well, I think that's all I have, unless you have anything else that you wanted to talk about.
No, that's good. We made it through a year.
Yeah. Awesome.
It'll be New Year's in like 2 weeks. So.
Hell yeah. High five.
High five.
High-
Hey, we started this a year ago, and
We said we planned on only two episodes a month. That was our 24 episodes.
we made it 2 1/4.
Yeah.
According to Buzzsprout.
Yeah. That's
Another thing we didn't mention is the
our milestone.
our milestone.
We did not hit the 10,000 mark, but that's
We blew
our
it.
fault. That's our fault. We didn't put out content for like a month and a half
We
straight.
still had listeners, but
Yeah,
I mean,
but
there's no new content.
Yes, and that was us dropping the ball. So
But we got 7.61 thousand downloads.
So we hit our milestone of 7,500 downloads. That was our next milestone. Our next one after this is 10,000 downloads, and I mean, obviously we're going for that, and then hopefully, like I said, growing the YouTube channel. Hopefully we can do that. We can get some sponsorships. We can work out some other things. Like I said before earlier in the show, if you have a shop or you know of a shop, email me. I'm gonna put together a list and I'm gonna have it posted, pinned on our Facebook page, so that way I can just push people there. And if you're looking for a shop, where do you live? Because I get a lot of questions like that. If you have any questions or you've emailed us and we haven't responded to you, sorry about that. We will get to those. If you have a product for Volkswagens that's in the works, or you're looking to build and you want us to talk about it or something like that, email us. We'll chat with you. We'll figure things out, and then we'll try and do a product review of it.
Yeah, we're all about promoting the Volkswagen scene and new things, events,
even old
products.
things. If you've had a product that you've had on the market for a while and you still just want to do some more promotion on it,
yeah, you
email
updated
us.
it, you did something, you changed it, or just the word needs to get out. We
Yes.
can do that. I mean, it's not a problem.
It's not just about growing this channel and us. It's about growing the scene, and that's why we're doing this. We don't get paid to do this, so
No, this
is all
money goes the wrong
Yes.
way on this.
yes. So and we're not trying to make money off of it. I mean, it'd be nice to make some, but
I
that
just give
doesn't
it
matter.
all- I just give it
Yeah,
all
you
away
just
anyway.
give it all away. You need to start giving me some of that.
I mean, I could have put it towards the podcast.
No. You gave it to a charity. You gave it to a good
Right.
thing. It doesn't matter.
Right.
But yes. All right. So for 2024, thank you guys, everyone who's listened to this. Thank you all for being a part of this. Thank you for continuing to listen to us. Please continue to help us grow. If you have any questions, comments, or anything about the show, reach out to us at bcbugtalk@gmail.com. You can check us out on Facebook at Brew City Bug Talk, on YouTube at Brew City Bug Talk on YouTube, Instagram.
Yeah, that's about it. Hit them all. I'd just like to say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everybody for 2024, and I'm looking forward to 2025.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
Yep. Peace out.
Awesome.